I don't know why they try to basically give you a high-end label. It's like, oh my God, you're key, you have authority, stuff like that. It's like, a well-paid slave is still a slave.
So wait. We are 4 minutes and 37 seconds in. Before we get to the slave analogies, let's warm them up first. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Martini's Up podcast, a podcast for PAs by PAs. And this is what I would call a very, very special episode. And, we're going to be talking about, I guess, sensitive topics if you a sensitive bitch, but it's really for my niggas. So this is a nigga trigger warning. If you're not okay with the N-word or you have any qualms about that, you could see your ass right out whatever metaphorical door you're standing in.
This is not a government-funded activity. I have the right to discriminate.
If you are okay and you want to hear from the perspective of black PAs who have worked on black productions, around black people, around white people who are not that great towards us, and our white people who are great towards us, keep listening. It's going to be a great fucking episode. I want to plug Jesse Raxon, who's been on the music for this whole entire series. The music has been bumping. I don't know about y'all, but I've been really enjoying all my little interludes, and it's all thanks to Jesse Raxon. So if you want to hear anything new, he's got some new music out always. Head over to his Instagram at Jesse Raxon. You can find him on any link that I post on the Martini's Up podcast Instagram page. Support your local artists, please. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guest, and we're going to have a great fucking show. Stay tuned.
This week he mopping floors, next week is the fries, so...
This is my official nigga trigger warning. If you don't like the N-word, So, let me introduce my guest. This is the episode for black people only.
I still love you. You're gorgeous, but you're not nappy. You got to be nappy, baby. You got to be nappy.
But if you're not black and you're listening, what up? Like, we about to talk some shit, okay? So, without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend. What's up to my main pal, Jhordan? Claps, claps, claps. It'll be applause in post.
Thank you.
Hey, Jhordan. I'm sorry I didn't even ask you if you wanted to use your name. You okay with that? You don't even care, though. But
Honestly, I don't care. I don't think I came here to slander today.
I said what I said.
I think most of it is going to be just truth and
it's never slander here. It's never slander. It's never slander. We point out what's the obvious, and if you got a problem with that, if the shoe fits, bitch. If the shoe fits, wear that hoe. Wear that hoe, especially if it's not by Yeezy brand, okay? So, yeah.
And bitch, I'm from Chicago.
So tell me what's good. Welcome to the show. I don't really have a script, so this is gonna be our most authentic show yet. But I want everybody to know this is the nigga PA episode. I'm probably not gonna spell it out on like Spotify. I'm gonna do the N star, or let me know if you got a cooler way that we doing nigga on the internet sphere.
Not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
But that's what this episode is about. It's for the black PAs, by the black PA, the best black PA. Featuring my high yellow nigga here, Jhordan. But I'm sorry, I don't know how you feel about that.
Was for me.
All right, you go. Tell me what's up. What qualifies you to be a nigga PA? I mean, explain your story, your journey, why you're here.
Basically, I got into the industry 2017, so this year would be 5 years.
Okay.
Snap.
Living in this environment for 5 years.
But I didn't start off as a PA, like a traditional one. When I first got a set job, it was in Chicago, and it was...
It's rude that I'm eating?
No.
It's some nigga shit.
It was in Chicago on Chicago 5. And I'm, shout out to Dick Wolf. I love what he's doing.
He employs everybody in the
MCU.
universe.
He's the MCU of television, by far. It'd be like, damn, holy shit, that lawyer. Oh my God, oh Lord, how is he getting saved by the firemen? Now you gotta sue the building. Like, he do all this stuff. I respect him dearly. But that said,
you respect him because it was your first job, or you really?
I respect him because he has structure. How many people can we honestly say have structure?
50
You know,
Cent?
we get into. I was gonna say.
Wait, we gonna wait till?
I was just about to say, Green Light Gang.
It's iconic. We will get into it because it's iconic what 50 Cent is doing. Despite how controversial he is.
Despite how controversial.
It's iconic. It's never been done before by a black man, you know. I mean, no, okay. Anyway.
He got the NCU, Nigga Cinematic Universe.
No, you got low key.
He got
the Nigga Cinematic Universe.
He got
the
that
NCU. Wow.
He got that on lock. And you know, many have tried, but he has accomplished on that.
Not even Tyler Perry, because Tyler Perry has a technical nigga.
No, and I want to say the closest thing.
No, not a popular one amongst niggas, you know?
Tyler Perry. God damn, brother. Can we please consider some other movies?
It's not the long lasting of the show, which, by the way, the core show was long lasting enough. 6 seasons is a long time, and it's about the branches, the fucking branches, the show within the show. If they wanted to, the spin-offs can have spin-offs at this point, which is crazy.
And I think that they're doing that.
Listen, I want to get into the core of what today's episode is really about. Thank you for introducing yourself. So you've PA'd for a long time, and now what are you doing?
Yeah, so I PA'd for about 5 years. My first job was in Chicago. After I finished that job, I had nothing planned. I just go to Europe for a month. Don't have anything planned after that. And randomly, my phone line rings, and my aunt in Chicago is like, hey, I have a friend who needs somebody to house sit for her in Brooklyn while she goes to Europe. And I was like, really?
Shout out to black people who travel.
Yo, I know. And I was like, this is crazy. And this was my 3rd time ever coming to New York City for this house sitting. And what was crazy about it is something about it, I was just like, this just seems so like significant. Something just seems like it's going to really like link and connect on this. And what it was is that I got here and I had probably like $500 to my name. And I just kept telling myself, like, something's going to be more out of this trip than what I think it is. Like, I think I'm going to boost my income. I'm going to find some type of...
You felt that spiritual? It's the crystals?
I literally felt it. And the lady, her friend, shout out to Smita, picked me up from LaGuardia. And I was like, something about this. I think I'm going to literally gain so much from this trip. And income included. And she was like... okay, like she was like happy for me, but she was like, that's hard, because you know New York will definitely chew you and spit you out.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
And I had a cousin who was in Harlem at that time, before he moved, but I was like, hey, let's meet up for lunch. And I procrastinated so much that day. I was like, yo, I know I'm gonna be there at like noon. And I was like, okay, actually I'm gonna be there at like 2. I was like, okay, actually, I was like, actually,
time.
CPT, or Color People's Time. Hey, Harry, how you doing, man? It's a long-standing tradition in the black community that's been maintained for hundreds of years. A fine system that encourages tardiness and places no strong value on punctuality.
So I was like, I'm gonna be there when I be there. But instead of taking the transfer, you know, I'm the Black Lance Armstrong. I was like, yo, let me hop on this city bike real quick, because I was right there on.
Nigga, that is forever riding a city bike, no matter where
I was
you
right
go.
there on. I think I want to say Willoughby and like Hall. I got on the city bike, and this moment is what changed my life in terms of living in New York. I hop on a bike, and I was like, I don't want to take Myrtle. I was like, let me take the cow.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, let me take this straight down. And I was taking the cow down, and something got cut off on the cow where I had to make a right. So I go down Willoughby, which is a one-way in the opposite direction of where I need to go. As I'm going down Willoughby, I got cut off by Fort Greene. I was like, damn, I need to ride through this park. So as I'm riding through a park, I see a set filled with black folks. Filled. And I saw 2 black camera operators.
Another one, thank you. Another one, thank you.
In Chicago, I never seen a black person in camera department. Actually, that's not true. Shout out Jimmy Love. Shout out Jimmy Love.
Being black in camera is like huge. So
huge.
Inspiring to see.
And
knowing how much some motherfuckers make, yes. It's very good.
Yes.
It's very good to see.
So I had walked through the set and I was on a bike. I didn't come from a PA world, so I was getting locked up on the corner. And they were like, brother, you can go through. And I was like, okay, that's what's up. So I said that. I was like, that's what's up.
My nigga.
And I parked the bike. I parked the bike, and as soon as I hop off the bike, I'm like, damn, let's see what I got on me. Miraculously, I had my Chicago Fire Dick Wolf ID on me. And I was like, this is some validation right here. So I start walking to the set. People out here checking me. It's high on security, but I see black folks, and I was like, this ain't no passion project, baby. This is a real deal right here. So I walked up to the first person I saw, who just so happened to be the key PA.
You lit. You lucky.
And I was like, I was literally like, hey, I'm interested in this kind of stuff. I was doing film back in Chicago. It's like I worked for Dick Wolf, and I showed my ID. He's like, Dick Wolf. He's like, interesting. You want to start working here tomorrow at 5 a.m.? I was like, what?
And that is true.
And I didn't have no interview.
No, bro.
Which is why I just don't believe in. It sounds kind of cocky, but literally people would not tell you, but they know that they never use the resume, they never use interviews, they just be getting hired.
That's how it is. No, like, we should get into it, because sorry, I am eating ice cream. We should get into it, because when you go to an interview, it's not the same. People should know it's not the same as like a normal job interview. It's really just people want to know, like, oh, you work with my friend? Oh, that's my girl. How was it working with her?
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. Oh, wow. They don't give a fuck about what you did. They only give a fuck about who you know. It really is like, for real, who you know.
And my thing about it is, it's a fucking film set. How many days are the same? Every day you're learning as you work.
Yeah.
I will say that that's the truest form of a film set. Is every day you're learning exactly what to do. Right there on the spot. Nothing's ever going to be the same. They might tell you could lock this block up. Then you're shooting at Queensbridge and they blowing your shit up. And they driving through your police people. It's like, nobody could have predicted that.
Yeah.
But that's what happens. Is you don't know. So honestly, if you interviewing me based off of like, hey, this is going to be different than any other film set, I don't know why you interviewing me at all. That doesn't make sense to me.
What do you mean?
Get somebody else to do it.
But the first day of the job that I got hired on, I don't know what the production is. I didn't have any real interview. He just told me, and this whole production, from the span of May 27th, 2018 to August 4th, 2018, I didn't get a single call she emailed. It was just always a text.
Of course.
Meet me here.
Use additional. Oh, wait, meet me here? Or like, yeah, I'm texting you a call sheet?
No, meet me here. I didn't get any
What the
call
fuck was it? Oh, you can't say that.
I will. I will. It's a big thing.
Oh,
because my first day on the job, and this was crazy how like life is just like a full go around circle. I was told to meet at the Brooklyn Promenade at 5 a.m. I go there, it's extremely foggy, and I just hear a voice. So we need to put this right here, we need to put that right there, and this needs to be cleared up. And I was like, this voice sounds so familiar. It was Spike Lee. The fog cleared up, and it was Spike Lee.
Sir, I don't do hypothetical stuff. I was born 1957. I was not born 20 years later.
Do the Right Thing was made when it was made.
I think what it is just like working for him for that, what is that, 4 months? May to August? About 4 months. Working for him, I saw just a whole different side of just film. I started in the Dick Wolf world. It's always just so traditional, stuffy.
Yeah.
I felt like that was like, you know, we got to follow the recipe. If the recipe ain't here, we not working.
Yeah.
Spike Lee shit was, yo, I don't have no ingredients, but we gonna cook something with what's in the fridge or whatever.
I love that. Yeah,
and I love
right.
that. There was days on there, I still remember this. We had finished work on a 5 a.m. call. I think he was superstitious against 6 a.m.s and 7, some shit like that. So we would always do like a 5 a.m. crew call. I'm like, damn, son, like we in here early.
Why not 5 or 8?
No,
What are you, 6 or 7? What about 8?
It was like always, most of the time, like a 5 a.m. It was something crazy.
Shoe program, nigga. 23-hour lockdown. I'm the man up in this piece. You'll never see the light of day. Who the fuck you think you fucking with? I'm the police. I run shit here. You just live here.
We did a day. We finished at about 12. 5 a.m. So literally our day was only like 6 hours. He walked outside because we were on sound stages. It's completely black on sound stages. All that shit is, you know, enclosed. You don't see sun. He walked outside to get some air. He looked at the position of the sun and he was like, damn, we still got a lot of sunlight left. We finished the day. We all like, damn, we about to go home. He said, let's do a company move to Coney Island.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We didn't have nothing scheduled. He said, let's do a company move to Coney Island. So Coney Island from Greenpoint in Chicago terms is uptown on the north side, all right? All the way to like 95th and Dan Ryan on the south side. That shit is like, you know, you getting some bad traffic. That shit could be a 2-hour drive.
What time you said he was done? Around 5?
We started at 5. We were done at about, I want to say noon, going on like 1. It was something really early.
So not
really early.
Not terrible traffic at least, but coming back probably would be a nightmare.
No, it wasn't. And you don't know what's crazy? We started at 5 that day. I think we got done with work, no exaggeration, still under 12 hours. It was like
okay.
It was like a 10-hour day.
So that's not bad. That's just fun spontaneity. Now, if it was just like, let's do a company move to Coney Island and now we're doing an overnight, that would be fucked up. That's not cool.
No, people were tight. I think the funniest thing, no slander to locations, they had to just walk down the block and start blocking off codes. Like they was like, what do you mean company with Coney Island? He's like, send somebody right now. Send somebody right now.
now.
And like their unit PA, they didn't even take parking with them. I think they sent like a unit PA. That motherfucker had like cones. And he just started coning shit up. And, you know, they're not going to tell him no. And they love Spike Lee. People love Spike Lee. Where we shot on the first day, the full go-around circle part is like, I just moved into the apartment that's right over where we shot at. And I'm like, this is where I had my first day at work. Every time I walk outside the house, I'm reminded of my very first day at work.
That's so cool.
I was like, this is so beautiful to me.
So your first instinct to tell you to stay in New York was Spike Lee just
was Spike
spontaneous
Lee.
Ass
And
Mr. Spike
no,
Lee.
for sure. And it was incredible because I was able to sustain myself and get my very first apartment. And I ended up staying in New York, and it was a rude awakening because for many reasons working with Spike Lee, because one reason is that motherfucker can be difficult, yo.
You motherfuckers will be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get finished with you.
And not in a bad way. I just feel like not to defend like rudeness or whatever, but I genuinely feel like he's on a different level of just thinking that if it's not done at the exact like moment, he just feels like it's too slow. Mm-hmm. So he's very low tempered on that. But fairly enough, like he's a very, very generous, nice guy, and you know I look up to him extremely, because he's made it where that was the only job I ever PA'd on, and it was always, you gotta let the community through. Like, this is their world, we're just living in it.
That's very
Whereas
nice.
every other production I've been on, you get chewed out. It's like, what you mean you letting people through? Why they want to see our production? Keep them on the corner. And it's like, do you understand? Like, we probably like the first production to shoot on this block, or like it's new to them.
Yeah.
And there's no sense of respect for it. And there's been moments where I've been additional.
Sometimes they get on my fucking nerves though, and I do
like the
understand.
pedestrians?
Yeah, like come on, bro. Like that shit is annoying. Like I get it, but like, what are you really seeing? Like I understand. Like I always love when I have to lock up people, and it's like, there you really do see like that at Mr. and Mrs. Smith or whatever. Like that one day I had to lock up people. They did really see Donald Glover doing stuff back. So I'm not even gonna be like, what the fuck are you looking at? You're looking at Donald Glover like act. Like I get it. I would stop for that shit too.
No,
but like
big,
when you just walking past a blacked out supermarket, or like just some dude setting up a light or whatever, what are you staring at? Keep going. You ain't never seen a lighting instrument. You ain't never seen a fucking light bulb.
And what kills me is I feel like everybody trying to be some daytime paparazzi.
Yeah, like you ain't nobody. You not about to pop, baby. You not about to
making
pop.
it to the shade room.
You're not doing nothing big. No, come on. And you not low. You not low. The people who be talking to their phones and recording, you're not low. You're not low. The people who be putting it down by their head,
what kills me is always the FaceTime. Like, yeah, I'm just out here. I think I see somebody. They lift the phone up over their head, and it's like, you're not taking no selfie.
No.
That's
what I used to like when I did work in the universe that is powerful. The PR bitch used to be on a body, baby. You wasn't getting away with not around her. Not around her, you weren't. And they used to be so funny snitching people out to her. It used to be like, yo, they take a picture of it. It should be like, who? Like, you're not getting, nope. You're not getting away with it over here.
I'm not about to name drop, but
you cannot name drop.
Absolutely right on that one.
Yo,
she was the best. The best.
She
PR
killed it, and I was only there for like a fucking couple.
She
like
could have easily been a one-woman PA because she would never be in frame. She'd be like, "Oh, he's shooting up there. Okay. Take an elevator through the doorman. Like, hey." No.
Not today.
Stop that. And that kind of would be a fun job, and I would be missing so many motherfuckers.
But back to the NCU, a lot of leaks happen on those shows, and I feel like it's like unfortunate because it's kind of like damaging to the shows because like that's so anticipated, and then you get. I never hear about any other shows getting any type of fucking.
No, leaks happen all the time.
All the time,
leaks
but as frequent as it did.
I don't know. I never seen that many. Like, what if maybe they weren't leaking. If it really happened that frequently, maybe it wasn't a leak, and maybe it was like a publicity leak. You have to put little crumbs to keep the people on.
That's true.
I'm a huge fan of the NCU, and I'll stay with it. And even after being a huge fan, and then going and seeing. That's all I'm gonna say about the NCU. From there, going and working for it, but still a huge fan. Still could watch it after knowing, damn, they probably pulled 20 hours, didn't they?
Yeah.
For nothing, but whatever.
For nothing. And just to go back to it. Before I got into the NCU, I was in the Spike Lee universe, and what that was it just. I don't know. There was a certain thing about it where working for him, it was definitely intense. But another part of it was like, it just felt so closed off that you couldn't really feel like a sense of progression inside of it. If you're working in a smaller scale of things, like as a PA. The downfall was that it was closed off. The plus was like, if you got blackballed from like most of the other productions, you always had a place to work.
You always had a place here, nigga.
It's a Spike Lee universe. Like, I'm
Love
like,
that.
yo.
My nigga.
So the Spike Lee universe is different than the NCU.
Absolutely.
The NCU is like more.
It's its own kitchen by far.
Yeah. The NCU is more like devoted to a certain type of like demographic of black people in terms.
Well,
because not all black people are invested in the NCU. I gotta say.
Not all black people, and then what I think what kills me too is that the actual production value of it is not enough blackness for me at all.
Oh, absolutely. The most frustrating. Listen, say what you want about Mr. Chocolate. Shout out to the most recent episode of Atlanta. So fucking good. But unlike a Tyler Perry or whatever production, you could tell at least that goes up to the top, and the tippity top is black. The NCU. Without saying so much, and Jhordan, you can say whatever you want on your behalf since you are no longer like really tied to them people, but I ain't gonna say a lot because they really run some mafioso shit from what I've heard. But like the tippy top of NCU is white. It's the WCU up top. You know, it's the white cinematic universe.
It's not even giving what y'all said it was supposed to give. No, I wasted my money. So send me my money back now. My cash app is open.
No. WNCU.
The white nigga. Oh, but they not really white niggas. It gets really disconnected. The higher you go up, the more it's just like, do you even watch the show that you're producing? Like, you know what they writing, right? Like, what? But
yeah, I completely agree.
And you know what? That is central to the creator of the NCU, because like he will shake a little tail for the he wasn't, and he built his own, and we don't have to derate it.
I love 50, Curtis, whatever we want to call him over here. He was incredible. I thought he was really nice. He brought a lot of charisma to the set. He was funny, but there was just a lot of different elements where I was just like, hell no.
So
they
you
ain't got
worked
no
on...
business. They ain't got no business.
I mean, if we're gonna name drop,
I'm a name drop right here.
Yeah, if you're gonna wait. If you're gonna name drop, explain why we should trust you. What did you? Hold on. Let's take a break, everybody, because we are about to get into like a juicy part of the whole thing. This nigga got a lot to get off his chest. So let's take a little break. We're back, everybody. Welcome to the Nigga PA podcast. No, I'm kidding. The Martini's a podcast for PAs by PAs. But today is the Nigga PA version. Again, we're going to give another nigga trigger warning. I'm here, so if you're offended by the word, even if you're like, you could be black and offended by the word nigga. Like, I know black people who are really like, Oprah, refer to the Oprah Jay-Z interview, please. Anybody who hasn't seen it. It's a really funny part of history. But some black people... they're very triggered. Even though me and Jhordan have even had times, people tell us, "Hey, chill with that N-word. That's not cool to say in front of certain people."
And we were by ourselves.
We were chilling. He was just like, "Please, young kings and queens, chill with that N-word." So I get it. Doesn't make me I don't feel any less educated. It's just how I connect. It's a very New York thing I feel too, and it's where I'm from. So if you don't like it, then you can suck a dick. If you're white and your ears are burning. Well, let's continue because we're not going to stop, right?
No,
thanks for listening.
For sure.
So I'm here with my guest, Jhordan. He was a PA for a number of years and very experienced, very good at his job. He's out of this world, so, he here to spread love and wealth and knowledge and give, like, help to the low niggas. This is always a podcast that if you've never done PA job, hopefully you can listen to this and be like, okay, I know where I go, especially for black PAs. I swear to God, you ain't gonna see a lot of yourself out there, friend. So hopefully you can listen to this and be like, okay, some niggas out there, they goofy niggas, but they niggas.
Niggas is a beautiful thing,
nigga PAs in general walk on every set just confident.
Facts. They need like you, technically.
Don't even but think to yourself that you're acting like you know how to do something. Because like I said, you are always learning on the spot what exactly needs to be done. As a PA, your job is basically, you're the eyes and ears of set. You express what exactly is going to happen throughout the day, and what is happening throughout the day to people who
parent.
aren't on your channel, whether it be your walkie or just in your, chain of command of what you've been told to do. Because a lot of times you'll get asked questions and it's just like,
it has nothing to do with you. Yeah, you have nothing to fucking do with you. But you'll get asked them anyway, and there's a point to stand 10 toes.
Yes, and never respond with I don't know. Because they don't know.
Corner.
They
Short's
don't,
corny.
as it's kind of crazy that's a double-edged sword. It shouldn't be. It's like if you getting asked a question and you say you don't know, they're more mad at the fact that you don't know because they don't know. Not the fact that you don't have the information. It's more of just like, now I'm just mad at I can't be mad at myself. I gotta be mad at somebody.
No, for real.
And it'll happen as early as 5 a.m.
That part.
So I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Don't feel alone, even though you're surrounded in a sea of non-you faces. Don't feel alone, because to be honest, they kind of need you. They know they need representation. They know you're the only one. It's awkward for them as well. But be confident in what you know, and if you don't know, you gotta act like you know anyway, because it's not a lot of us. So I hate to be that person.
And I hate that I hear this so much all throughout film. I can't name how many times someone has told me, you probably only got that job because you black.
Ooh, I haven't, no one's told me that to my face, but I've heard it around.
It's been said to another person.
Yeah.
Don't ever give them a reason to even believe that.
Yeah, facts. That's bad.
There's been some folks who I know that's been comfortable.
Listen. The nigga PA term, actually, as the inventor, I feel like, of the nigga PA term, it really came from the fact that it's just like, yo, niggas be nigga. Like, you can't turn it off sometimes, and I love us for it. I love being black. I love being a part of a very niche culture. But like,
do you remember the exact moment?
Shout out to my son. I think his name was Rodney or something. If you listening to this, it must be a shock, but you started a whole movement. You started a whole movement because niggas gonna be nigga, and you ain't gonna say nothing. You ain't gonna stop me from doing what the fuck I want to do, right? Even if I'm at work, and this ain't McDonald's, so it's really. You stick it out like a sore thumb. Thus, the nigga PA.
Welcome to King Burger, where we could do it your way, but don't get crazy.
We were rolling, dead silent. Me and Alexis were just small chatting
in a courthouse.
A courthouse. There are places that's already fucking quiet if we weren't there.
Yeah, true.
We small chatting, and a phone goes off. And I don't remember his name. I think it was Rodney.
I really do think it was like Rodney or something with an R. Something.
And he was quiet. And he was very like, what was crazy about it is he was pretty quiet and like, just, okay, I'll do that or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like he wasn't a bad PA. He just was nigga in at that one moment. He was just...
For some odd reason, his phone went off. And as soon as he answered, he was like, gang.
Gang, what up, bad now? Man, no, we're like, Rodney, we are rolling. He's like, so, like, he did not give no fucks. Truly, did not stop.
I feel like he was kind of, like I said earlier, the daytime paparazzi. I felt like he kind of was a daytime paparazzi that like got through. Was like, holy shit, I'm working on the set now.
Do you think so? Nah.
No, that kind of. But I'm saying that.
I never saw him again.
But that phone call felt like that though.
Yeah.
Because he was just like, gang, I'm here, bitch, I'm here. And literally, me and Alexis just look at each other, and I literally was like, I went like this underneath my breath, like, nigga. And Alexis was like, that's a nigga, right?
That's a real nigga PA. Like, she said, ain't gonna stop me. What's gonna stop me from taking my phone call, talking to the gang? You feel me? Like, I don't really care. I got it. I totally understood. I needed him to shut up in that moment because, I mean, we was on a lockup, but whatever, I got it.
I don't know what was funny, our reaction or the white people faces that was just around the situation.
True, there were.
They were like, they don't even know how to tell him to be quiet. Like, nobody told him to be quiet.
Don't get in the way of nigga being niggas. Don't. It ain't none of your business anyway. They did the right thing. Shout out to them white people in the room. Shut the fuck up. You did the right thing. That was for me and Jhordan and me and Jhordan only to handle. And we tried. We did the best we could. Like, whatever. Shout out to Rodney. He ain't hurt nobody.
We were like, we could not get on this level with nigga right now.
You know, and then, we did vow to each other that day. It was like, we always gonna be nigga PAs, but let's never get to that level of niggatry. That level of niggatry was too much. Like, we not sipping for the white man, but that was too much.
If I could have recorded that motherfucker would have been an ad lib on like 6 different
That's true. We could have. We definitely needed to use that.
He was so animated too.
And this is not. I want to make it clear. We're not simping. We're not saying like you gotta put on like a suit and tie because you're around the white people all day.
Code
like
switch. You shouldn't have to code switch.
You don't have to code switch. Be you, but maybe like answer the phone on the low. Like maybe just be like, hello, we are like understand we're on a film set. We're recording sound.
It was a part of me was kind of jealous because I'm like, I ain't never been getting that animated on the motherfucking FaceTime.
Yeah, right?
Like, and it was like the middle of the day. I'm like,
and listen, this is not about you're not the same, right? Y'all not the same. You don't compare yourself to him. That's Rodney. That's what he do.
Don't compare yourself to me.
They would never make you walk in a dress
on my level,
much
Nicole.
longer.
You never will be on my level. Do not compare yourself.
But it's just like, damn, you don't understand the fundamentals of a film set?
I know.
He could have said, was that his first day? Nobody even asked.
It's like, I think as soon as he got off the phone, he was told to quiet other people. I'm not even kidding. It was something like ridiculous. And I was just like, that was some real
just
nigga PA.
Small nigga PA moment.
Action.
And I've ran into many other nigga PAs over the years who have just been like, come on, you drunk right now? Are you serious on the job? Like, you could be drunk, but you smell like nigga. Like, you obviously are lit. Like, okay. Cool. And I don't even want to put that in the nigga PA because, damn, that was just sloppy.
No. Another just like sloppy antic of it too was just I've been worked with some real nigga PAs where I'm like, you know, you could be late. I'll defend you for like an hour.
No, wait. The CP time is a real thing, and I suffer from it. I suffer from it.
But there's one thing to be late where you show up, okay, 10 minutes before like shooting call, or 15 minutes into shooting call. And that's probably like 45 minutes to an hour after.
Into shooting call? That hurts me. That's scary. I'll be late to my prep time. I'll never be in past call. That's crazy.
After you supposed to be there, like you'd be like an hour or something late. That's one thing. But I have literally worked with some nigga PAs who have been, we talk about second scene of the day late.
No, and then what? What's the excuse? What's the excuse? You was the key on this and just like, huh?
It was just I overslept. And what hurts me too is like the fact that we were like getting into the second scene. I called the phone as a key PA. I was like, yo, where you at? Like, I need you. Oh, hello. You hear that hello like that? You like, damn. That's another hour. That's another hour or two.
To get up.
Just for them to get up. And I'm like, who? And that person too was like on true nigga time because they were like, I'm not about to Uber. I'm not about to Uber. I'm like, what do you mean not about to Uber? Like, get here. Like, what the fuck? No.
He's like, I'm getting on the bus.
Like, I didn't get paid yet or whatever. Then another huge nigga moment was, hey, Channel 1, if you sent me a text, I ain't get it. I ain't paid my bill yet. I'm like, why you letting niggas know this? Like, what are you doing?
The ghetto. The ghetto.
And this was the same job too. This was the same job.
Exactly, baby. You know it be like that sometimes. I was just struggling.
It literally does be like that. But you vocalizing it again. That people be giving just bullshit reasons where they be like, we got to keep them around. I feel bad. Like, I don't want you to feel bad for me. I'm good at my fucking job. Like, no.
Yeah, you don't want to go like Oliver Twist
Don't try to
level.
tokenize me. No.
Yeah, that's not fun.
But then you hear shit like that. And
don't you feel protective over the brand though? Like what it is to be like a black PA? I feel very protective over it.
I do.
Just like, come on, we cannot have this fucking farce. But I don't want to be too overprotective. No. Like you gotta be. I don't want people to have to code switch. It's very important and very easy for black people to fall onto it. But I feel like I do want to be a good representation that like we here for a reason because we're smarter and better. So we're here.
Then what y'all think?
Exactly. So I just don't. I don't know. Like I feel very protective over it, but I do want to be careful in the message that I'm sending because I don't want anybody to feel. I don't want Rodney to feel like he can't be on the phone with his gang because you can.
It only takes a little bit of white brainwash to activate the coon chip.
I think what made also too just nigga PA in general a thing was again like foundation. When we started that job, we talked about we had like a lot of like disagreements on like just social issues. We would have breaks of talking about blackness.
Yeah,
that was something in beauty.
Yeah,
because it's like you have breaks when you are the only black person on set. You talk about some shit where it's like, oh, I took my dog to this park this weekend. And it's like, you know, like I don't mind those conversations, but I don't have enough in me for that.
I know.
I feel like there's so much other shit to decompress.
Dog, yeah.
Like I need to talk about some shit. It's very therapeutic to work with other real nigga PAs on that.
Yeah, true.
Because you could talk about it.
Yeah, now nigga PA went from kind of like a joke to like a safe space. Like literally like okay, we got, and every time now what do we do when we see other black people, like another nigga PA, no matter who you are now. Even if Rodney spun the block, it was just a completely different man. Like what is this, 3 years later since we worked on Evil? You know, like if he was a different person, he want to be a real true nigga PA, I would take Rodney too, because I can make him a better nigga PA.
And what's crazy about that to me is when I finally got a chance to work with like black ADs,
that's like a different experience as well. That's so.
But when I worked with some, they would ask me like, how you think the day went? Like, you know, as an AD, you always trying to check on the key PA. Whether it be good or bad, I feel like there's always a conversation of just like room for improvement or just like, you know, tips to get through your day.
Right.
A respectable and good AD will do that, right? So there was a day in CU. This was Power Universe. Let me just get right into it. I worked on season 6 of Power, all of season 6 of Power, and I worked on the first season of Ghost, and I'm a keep it a buck. I walked out on that shit. I had to.
Telling people why you pulled the Million Man March out the hole.
I had to leave. Million Man March, you funny.
Out of it, please.
What was disheartening about that though? I know we all over the place with this, but that was honestly, this might be the most estranged advice I can ever give a PA. If you feel like you are not in a good safe space, walk out your fucking job.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Not for the 15.
And secondly,
not for the minimum wage.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And it's like you literally giving them what, like 80 hours out of your week? That's a lot. That's a lot.
I've pulled 90 before, like on some really crazy wild shit.
Well,
like
I think at season 6, I'm not even kidding. I have the pay stub. I have a 110-hour pay stub.
That's fucking gnarly.
Gnarly. And you wanna know what's crazy? 3 of those motherfucking days were stage days. How do you even do that on stage days? The longest day of work I think I ever clocked was Power season 6. We did a noon 12 o'clock call. We didn't get out of work. This was a Friday. Noon 12 o'clock call. We didn't get out of work till 9 a.m. on Saturday morning.
What?
I'm not like overly emotional person on a lot of shit. I literally cried my Uber, and it was for the funniest fucking reason.
Why?
I got in the Uber, and I
shout out to Jesse Raxon, who has an album called "I Once Cried in the Back of an Uber." Go listen to that.
Go listen to that. SoundCloud link in bio, baby. What's good? No, but I hopped in the Uber. Safety ride hours, of course. Like, what the fuck we contemplating if it's a safety ride or not? Anyway, safety ride. I hop in the Uber. I close my eyes, and I wake up to just a loud. And it was the Uber driver punching the ceiling. And he was this nice African man. He's like, brother, you gotta get out. Get out. And apparently I've been asleep for like 10 minutes after the ride ended. Like I was out cold.
But he ain't.
And I woke up, and I was just like, I just worked 22 hours, and tears were falling down my face, and it wasn't like I was like sobbing, but like tears were. I think it was just like I was broke. Like I literally had a complete
not the BBC broke you
fried moment, yo.
The big black king broke your shit. Nah, you was broken. You was broken like a first day in.
I literally was like, and it wasn't even like conscious tears. It was like, they literally was just, I was like just broke. And I said, I just worked, and I remember just smiling really hard when I said that. And he like backed up. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's like, yeah. He's like, we've been here for a little bit. And I was like, okay. I'm getting out. And there goes my weekend on that. Like, these motherfuckers, man. Like,
so you slept all of Saturday. You literally had.
I think I woke up at like 4 p.m. that day, and I don't even remember what happened, but it was just a lot.
That's a Friday
It was
for you.
a lot. That's a lot of pressure on that show. I don't think we give. Shout out to Courtney Kemp again. She conducted the NCU. Those are her creations. 50 just produces it mostly.
He's just the blackface.
He's just
not in blackface. He's just the blackface.
Stephen A. Smith, I sentence you to 4,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man.
In front of another blackface. I mean, Courtney's a black woman. She's even better. Woman.
And I think for me, what was just wild is like, there was so much shit with season 6 that made it just so tense. Like what a set to work on. That first morning, like the first 3 hours of the day just felt like the most intense work you could do. It felt like if you were an athlete, I feel like that was like your full-blown like sprinting on the treadmill. Like it wasn't like just like a jog. That first morning was like full explosion, just like full speed. Well, I'm saying like
and you're from like you started from like the first
part of the morning.
Okay, you mean like every day?
Every day almost was always just high notch. And I'm
probably
not gonna,
lunch and midday is the worst times.
This is a big one, and I'm not going to name drop, but there was people on that production that would just show up deliberately late, and it would really fuck some shit up. Where it was like, okay, camera's ready. The first AD, camera's ready. How are we with cast? It'd be like, oh, number 20's good. Number 25's good. What about? And we'd be like, oh, that person still hasn't landed yet. Hasn't landed.
Oh God.
That means they still gotta go through hair and makeup. There was days on that production where this particular personnel showed up 6 hours late. Once they got to work, said, I'm not working today. My throat hurts. and this was so funny. That person got talked to by the producer. It was like, hey, like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about?
So why you can't?
And why when the producer was getting answers, this motherfucker just rolled the window up, and it was a transpo van. They could have easily been like, motherfucker, you're not working today. You're not getting driven. Get your ass out. Call you an Uber or something. They took the transpo car back. They took the transpo car back to the house. It was like a whole mess. Another wild situation on that show. We shot right in front of this person's house, okay? One of the cast members. And this motherfucker
you shot in front of the cast member's house.
In front of the cast member's house.
And they still was late?
This was, by 3 hours. By 3 hours. And then they were calling the first team PA. They were like, yo, I'm gonna name drop him. That's my boy when he wants to be, I guess. Nigga PA too. It was like, yo Z, where's this cast member? Oh, they just went to go get breakfast with their family. We're like, breakfast? What the fuck? Like, we shooting in front of his house. Like, what are you? Oh shit! I said he again.
Oh my god, you're mad.
We shooting in front of that person's house. What do you mean? And he's like, Z was like, yeah, they just went to go get breakfast. Breakfast? What the fuck? What do you mean breakfast? Yeah, they got their family and went to go get breakfast. They got their whole family at breakfast. And what made it funny, we was like, oh shit, let's see where he's at. Let's see if he wants to come to set now. So they asked Z to go break up breakfast.
Where? Like in a separate, in the house?
No,
or?
It was on a restaurant in the neighborhood. Yo, this shit was wild. Go ask Z to go check for breakfast. Son, they go, Z goes and was like, oh shit, there's the transpo car. This motherfucker fed the transpo driver too. So like everybody was like hands off on that situation. Like we couldn't even get him back to the place. Like, what are you gonna do on that?
So 3 hours late, then a whole breakfast
3 hours
thing?
late, whole breakfast right in front of his house.
And like how many seats?
Right in front of the house. Right in front of the house of the actor. Right in front of the house.
What was it like when he finally came to work? He just went like through the works and then he was ready and then he just did his work and nobody gave him. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
It was a mess, and that's why I kind of feel for the ADs on that, like in terms of how hard they were on PAs. The reason I walked out wasn't because of the ADs. I don't know why that was any type of real speculation. It was solely because the UPM. I'm a name drop. No.
Not you name drop her. I'll cut it. I know it's
How'd you not do that look?
I was just like,
you did the look. But no, I left because of
a certain someone.
No, I'm a name drop the UPM, like the role, but I'm not gonna name drop the person.
Yeah.
But it was a toxic environment to say the least. And I try not to believe that work environments of film can be toxic because I tell myself that it's not, because there's always moments where I'm on film sets and I'm like, I only dreamed of this as a child, like just to be here. Just to actually be there is like, wow, this is crazy.
I agree.
And like we're like literally a 1% of a workforce that is like, every other job is so much 9 to 5. Like we have a job that's completely abnormal. Nothing is the same from the yesterday before. 5 to 5. It's the 5 to 5, exactly. The UPM really had me fucked up though. I will say that.
She says, I'm quick to check a bitch if she is out of line. Are you the bitch she's singing about?
Don't know.
Yeah, it's an abusive environment because it's ran by people. It's under misleading guys, but they don't even really care about you over there. The craziest part about working
NCU does not care about black people.
Not at all. The NCU does not care about black people. And that's what's crazy is like you pray to work on more black productions, and then that's what I really, I want to get into the core of. It's like you want to work on a black production, you get to the black production, and it's not great. And not even the NCU. I've worked on other black productions that don't have anything to do with it, and it hasn't not been. It wasn't not great. It was just definitely like a little bit lower valued, and I don't ever understand what's the difference. And I think the difference is just in budget, and the difference is like who's at the top. But I don't know. I'll always value working on a black set. I yearn for it. The deeper I get into it, good or bad, I will always value working on a black set. I don't know about the NCU again because their reputation precedes itself. Everybody in New York knows the NCU is a no-go. They get all greenies for a reason. Like you have to not know anything in order to work for that.
Because you have to,
be higher up or in the crew department, and you're making a buttload of ass money out of it. But
you gotta have enough where it's like, this is not really gonna break me. It's just a job. I think the lack of culture behind the camera hurt me. Because it was just like, it kind of felt like the art was overshadowed by exploitation. It just felt like, what we consider to be hood or whatever in Hollywood standards.
They got black writers though,
but it's not enough. There was just all these different situations where it's just like, I just can't sit well with this. There was a director I really liked him as a person until this point. They were doing a rehearsal of a scene, and the scene was the lead actor had to get into, I think he got into like a scrap or whatever, where it led to somebody getting killed. But what it was the scene was like, yeah, I got you, bitch nigga. And the white director literally was like, I just feel like you didn't do enough going into that. You gotta be more of bitch nigga. And he was white. I was in there for
even the white directors on those shows are problematic.
That was a literal rehearsal that went down. And the funniest but not funny thing wasn't a nigga PA, but it was a nigga set worker. He randomly, never met him in my life. Forgot the brother's name. Shout out to him. Did VFX. He tapped me on the shoulder and was like, yo, he pointed to the situation. His eyes were so wide. And I was just like, yeah, nigga, I heard. I literally just looked at him and like, yeah, I heard. And, you know, that situation happened after a huge situation that was well protected, where the script supervisor had to give lines to Mary J. And the lines, it was so funny because I prepared for this. There was a line where it was like, you know, I can't have you running around these streets. And you running around these streets is a mess. I don't know what type of niggas you running around with. You got to be careful out here. It's dangerous. So Mary forgets the last part, and the script supervisor, you got to be careful out here. It's dangerous. She forgets the first part, the next take. You got to, I can't have you running out here in these streets. And then I was like, she about to forget that middle part with nigga in it. And the script supervisor was white. So the black AD who was next to me, I was like, there she go. Look. Because I was waiting. But the script supervisor literally was like, I can't have you running around here. I'm not going to say that word. And we were all just quiet.
Shout out to my Hannahs who will really be like, no.
And Mary was just like, all right, got it. I was full-blown fledged, and you should use this as an ad-lib to be like that old Kanye West ad-lib. Niggas! Just for the script supervisor at that exact moment. Because I knew who was going to stop me. Everybody was up there at that time. I think it was like 2 producers, the UPM. I'm like, Mary needs some help, y'all. I'm about to help Mary because that's
let me read the lines.
I was like, and I think I was the key at that time. But I started on Ghost as a first team helper / like runner on there. Shout out to Tamika.
But you were brought in to be the key.
I was brought in to be the key, and I'm happy that it happened. I will say this honestly, before I met you and worked on Evil, I had a black ass resume. Like, I worked with Spike Lee.
You was my black friend that I thought just came off the boat from Africa. I think you did. Yeah.
Which I did. I just came back. The day I met Alexis, the day before, I just came back from South Africa.
You was on your I'm a black person who went to Africa tip, and that was the end of it.
I was like, these first world white niggas are beyond me. like y'all not about to break me, son.
First month back from Africa, I'm not taking it.
I've seen enough.
I built the whole plan. I ain't going nowhere. But I appreciate the concern, my beautiful African queen. I hope your hair is natural.
I hate being a PA. I hate not being able to see nothing, but you at the video village, you at the monitors, you or next to all the people, and you know when people ask, like, if they had more black representation in the room, they wouldn't have done that. And it's like, I feel bad because I am the black representation in the room, I can't do anything about it without being like, your 15,000 hours gone.
So I'm going to have to sentence you for 10,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man and saying that no black woman can make you happy. 10,000 lashes for Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp.
And it's hard to say that we have a say-so because I feel like as PAs, you build the table, you set up the chairs, but there is no room for you.
No seat. No seat for you.
No seat for you. And
that was true. Wow.
That was my thing about being a key PA. It was just like people would like praise me and like all of this stuff, and I'm just like, there's nothing big about this. At the end of the day, I'm still a slave on this.
Oh yeah,
like,
yes. Now, an hour in, we're ready for the slave analogy.
I'm still a well-paid slave is nonetheless the slave.
That's true.
And
he wasn't even well-paid. You're not getting more than anybody else. You're just the head nigga in charge.
The Rodney nigga I hired off the street is making the same I make a week.
Truly.
That is bizarre to me. And not to say like Rodney wasn't deserving of it. Shout out to Rodney again.
Shout out to Rodney. Gang.
But it's wild. It's wild.
This is like a very special episode. You know how you watch like the molestation episode on like Family Matters or some shit, and they're like, "Welcome to a very special episode." The Psycho Man and Dudley and
then they'll do like a PSA before.
Exactly, just and after.
I was watching.
Whenever they do race relations.
No, I was watching fucking what's that? The Johnny Depp TV show 21 Jump Street.
Mm-hmm.
It was like at the end of the episode. What's that number you should call if you know somebody that uses drugs? I don't know. Oh, there it is. And it popped up on the screen as the editing. And they were like, yeah, that's a cool way to go. Drug-free. And I was just like, come on.
Johnny Depp?
Y'all are actors. Son.
Johnny Depp?
At least be better about it like that.
Hi, I'm Brandon Tartikoff, chairman of NBC Entertainment. And I've got a hit idea for the new fall season. Don't do drugs.
There's no hope with dope.
This is a very special episode because we talk about special topics. So like this very special episode of Martini's Up, we'll be right back, and when we come back, we're gonna play a little game. We're back. You ready to play a game? I usually write these down, but everything is off the cuff. That's why this episode is probably gonna sound sloppy as hell. I'm not organized, but it's coming from the heart. Let's play Guess That Phrase. It's a game where I say a phrase of something, and you try to guess what it is, and I put little buzzers and beeps, and you get a prize at the end. So, the first phrase of 3 is gonna be the attendance sheet for background actors. So when they come in, it has all their names on it and like what they're gonna be for the day. What is that called?
Skins.
Another one, thank you. Good job. Correct. I'm trying to think of another cool one. Ooh, the person who is in charge of the lighting of the entire show. Not how it looks, but just in charge of setting up the lighting of the whole shindig.
Sounds like a gaffer to me.
Another one, thank you. Ooh, confidence. You're right, gaffer. A gaffer. And my last question for today is, what do you call a person who is in charge of keeping track of continuity within the story?
Oh, so this is kind of controversial. They don't like scripty. Not always.
They don't like scripty? I love saying scripty.
I love scripty.
It's just so cute.
I love scripty. But it's a script supervisor, scripty.
Another one, thank you.
You know,
the supervisor of the script.
I believe I use the term kind of often, script soup.
Script soup.
I just feel like, honestly, they get this shit done. Like
That's such a fun job.
Such a fun job.
But
I've met some high strong.
Yeah, because it's a hard job. It just seems fun. You just see the way the little notepad looks,
and you'd be surprised they don't go through the director. They'll go straight to the showrunner and be like, "Hey, is this what you want?"
No,
absolutely. This person said that.
Absolutely.
And I'd be like, "Whoa."
You know, someone once told me like the most often jump from job to job is script super to director.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a director in television, normally 9 times out of 10 you're a script supervisor first. And I've met a lot of like directors who were script supervisors, and I don't know if it really makes. Like, I think it is better. I can't tell if it's better or worse. I just think it's a cool jump. I'm always, I'm always looking at the connection of like jobs to jobs. Like, you want to be a first AD, what's the quickest way to get through that without doing one thing? Or do you want to make more money than a first AD? You know, you can just do locations first and then go into UPM quicker, which makes more money. Like, I'm always thinking about that. I think that's really cool, especially from nigger perspective. I'm tired of being a PA. I'm back on my PA shit. I was a COVID PA for the last like 3 episodes, but I'm back on set where the bitches love me, where the hoes wanted me. I'm back, but like I'm tired of it. Like I'm not tired of the job. I love my job. I'm just tired of fucking like making no money.
Where's my money, bitch? I ain't gonna keep asking nice.
And I think it's
I need money.
I think it's definitely the money thing.
Money.
But it's just I feel like to the highest extent of a lot, being a PA, you kind of make someone else's dreams come true on a day-to-day basis. And what it is a lot of the job, you have to just be okay with never getting a thank you, never getting a good job. Ghost we shot in Queensbridge. Again, that was like a very white day. I don't even remember who the director was for that.
That was a very white day.
But
another white day in the NCU.
We were shooting there, and it's Queensbridge, son. Like, y'all gotta know what the fuck is gonna be going down. You out here trying to block people from parking right next to their building? No, son. Complete blown lockups in terms of like the police traffic agents that just use flashlights that aren't really like real police. I feel like there was no real understanding of that nature of it's their world and we're just living in it when we go into the hood in those shows. But then when we go to Manhattan or something, it's like
we bend at their will. Yeah, true.
It's always like you bend at their will. It's like people got to go to work, let them through, blah blah blah.
I'm supposed to feel sorry for that bitch. I don't.
It's always just higher. We give higher commodities to
the people
what we see as like
more.
higher end.
Yeah.
And we see like we're like God's perfect gift when we're in a fucking low income neighborhood.
Right.
I had to turn up on a key PA because I was an additional. We were shooting. This is very Chicago of me. I'd never been to Coney Island at this point. And I went to Coney Island and I was like, damn, surf, Mermaid Avenue, like this shit is Bikini Bottom. Like what the fuck is this? What is
Coney
this?
Island.
And we were on surf and yo, I kid you not, there was like the hood was out, right? And it was diverse, but it was a lot of black folk. This was season 6 and I kid you not, the key was like, hey, on the edge of frame, like not even in frame, was like, we could see the freak show on camera.
Clap if you think she should suffer.
And he called me to Channel 2 to say this, and I was just like, excuse me, freak show? And he was like, yeah, you know, the strange characters of this neighborhood, they're in frame, whatever. I was like, first off, it's their neighborhood.
Yeah, people live here.
I was like, don't call it freak show just because it's not where you from.
No, yeah,
How
absolutely.
dare you? And then he was like, well, you know, and that was the only time I ever did this. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Go back to 1.
See, when you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite.
And you know, white folks know when they do something wrong that could be deemed racist, they will literally not not try to battle you on that.
I love black people. I love black people. Who's your motherfucker, Jerry? You my motherfucker.
If I said that to another black person, they'd be like, "Yo, what's good?
Yeah,
what's
like,
good?
What the fuck you mean go
we
back
be
to
rolling.
one?
We be rolling.
I'd be on 1 like, nigga, go back to 2. Nigga, go back to 2. Fuck you talking about?
We will be exactly.
Fuck you talking about? Go back to 1.
Like, yo, who the fuck are you talking to?
That's it. That's what you are. You's a wannabe gangster. A fucking wannabe. You had all the potential, Dre, but at the end of the day, you ain't got the shit to make it work. Man, fuck you! Yeah, fuck me.
I think the worst part, just from an outsider of like the NTU that was only there for like a short stint, but still be like, yeah, I worked on that job and it was as messy as you think. But no, like just from like an outsider's perspective, somebody who really wasn't invested, it just seemed like nobody cared. It seemed like nobody cared about anything. Like as long as one nigga was doing it, he gonna do all the jobs, since he the only one who really cared to have the production moving it needs to do. That's why you and shout out to Chris were just doing everything. Because it was like no one else cared enough to be like, well, let me help you get more hands on that, or let me be more commanding of the other PAs on staff to make sure everybody is working with each other. It was just kind of like, if one nigga gonna do the one job, he gonna do it for all of us. And thank you. That's what I didn't like about that show. And that one time that guy mistaked me with another black person who wasn't as good as me.
What was upsetting is like, that was a nigga who mistaken you. He was black himself.
Exactly. You mistaken me with another PA. First of all, yeah, you pulled the Shanquisha? No, I'm not. Like, just because I'm black woman number 46. I'm not the person you just saw. So I don't understand. He mistaken me with another, and then she was trash. I had to leave that day. What did I tell you? I was like, nope, done with this job, because you're not going to mistake me for another black woman. Not only are you not going to do that, you're not going to mistake me for somebody who's trash at their job. How dare you? So niggas can be in the street talking about we the same person. I don't have time for that. My reputation is very finely put together.
That was some real Harlem shit. When you pulled that, you were like, hold up.
I was like, actually,
he like, I'm gonna cut the grapevine off right fucking
no,
here.
Done.
You're not about to put me in the mix with nonsense.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
She went full Nene Leaks ghetto.
No, when they speak my name, they speak of greatness. You cannot fucking put me in the same room as these people.
Are you a Virgo? A Libra.
Shout out to that bitch. She was unique in her own way, but she wasn't me.
What was funny about it? You not one to turn from a bag, and you were like, nah.
No, hell no. I'll take the week off. Fuck it. Like, I'll go. I got another job started up. I was only there in between jobs, so you know what? Let me just stop. Like, done.
Yo, just left, son. Left.
No, Power pulled a lot of like shaky shit. I think, remember, I did paper. Like, I did a couple of different. I think I was there for at least a month. But I did paperwork, and it was on my body. No, as soon as that bitch started staring through the glass to like burn me in the side of my face, I was like, I gotta get out of here. Like, nope, I'm a little too close to too many vicious white people. I gotta protect myself, King.
No.
And what happens? A couple months later, you guys fucking like. Deuces. Only to say that's your most abusive job
Circle
ever.
back to the tokenism of like, all nigga PAs don't be on the same page sometimes, and it's disheartening. I got so fed up, and the situation that was at hand, this is my honest truth, if any of my Power family listens, I still love you. Shout out to all of the wardrobe department on there. That was the best wardrobe department I've ever worked with up to date. By far the most professional people. Ashley, Allison, Trenton, Paige, everybody, yo. Everybody. Frank, Deshaun, everybody.
Niggas is a beautiful thing, you know?
Fast forward to Million Man March. UPM, alright? This is, again, it's my honest truth. I get a random call that my brother back in Chicago died. He died in his sleep on a Saturday morning. And it was a long work week. And I was like, yo, this is so fucking crazy. Something just felt bad that morning, and I go home. That was the first time I ever flew, where I went to the airport, no ticket. I go to the kiosk, and I was like, what's your next flight? That's like some 1980s movie type shit right there. I go back to work that after that first round trip of just seeing the family after he passed, and I talked to the AUPM and my second AD and second. I was like, hey, I need to take time off, blah, blah. The AUPM said, I don't know if a grievance is on here, but you can just mark it as sick days. Because also on the fucking time, your pay stubs on certain production, it would say sick hours accumulated. And best believe, if I'm working on a fucking 18-hour work shift, I got some motherfucking sick time.
Yeah.
Y'all smoking crack. Something is wrong with you people. What the hell has this world come to?
So I leave that Friday to go home, And I leave that Friday to go home, and I don't come back till Tuesday. Come Thursday, I get a call from the main UPM saying, hey, I see you marked it as sick days. You can't do that. I don't care if someone died. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, you can't do that. Mind you, I'm a motherfucking PA. Minimum wage. You tripping over pennies. I mean, you tripping over dollar bills chasing pennies, bitch.
Corny ass nigga.
We get paid, and Chris earlier that day was like, yo, I'm tired of this place, yo. I'm ready to fucking go. And I was like, for real? And he was like, yeah. If you down, I'm down. That's what he said to me. And I was like, that's what's up. I was like, let's make this a thing, yo. And I said that, not trying to hijack like what he said, but we had full ammo that day, and I really wish the PAs understood that. It was a cast scene that day. Excuse me. That was the study hall of Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
We had 15 cast members. No exaggeration. 15. And a table read that day. So the table read had all of the cast that's for the next episode. So all of the cast was there at the stage. All of the producer team, the showrunner, everybody was there because it's a table read and it's a heavy cast scene.
Mm-hmm.
I said to everybody, if you want your jobs back, you will get a ring. I guarantee you. There is no more structure if we leave. They cannot get this running. If we leave right now, we'll be set. I was like, it is a statement and some shit can be done. Chris was
like, trying to organize the A Million Man March. He was trying to put it together.
And again, this is when you understand the frequency of nigga PAs. I explained it. People laughed at first, and then I started preaching, and they were like, I'm down. And the additionals were even down. Come down to it. We put the walkies down. Nobody was really about it.
Y'all be weak in the knees. Stand up. Stand up.
I was telling people, we got the paperwork PA to pack up their laptop and come downstairs. I was like, this is what's up. The paperwork PA leaves. All of this shit's about to crumble. Every last single bit of it.
Would have been iconic.
Came down to it. They were like, okay, we're going to set up for the next scene. I mean, not the next scene. We're going to set up for a rehearsal. They get done rehearsing. After they get done rehearsing, me and Chris walk into the room. Cast is still sitting in there talking. We walk to our second, and I was like, yo, I'm out of here. Good working with you. I tried to shake his hand, and he was hesitant on doing it. And he was like, y'all not serious? You laughing? And I was like, no, I'm out. And Chris was behind me. He was like, Jhordan's my ride or die. He took his walkie off like he was like a fucking Chris like Tucker. Chris Tucker turning his badge in on Rush Hour. Like, I know I fucked up on this case, but here y'all niggas go.
Your badge is on the line.
If I can't do this right, you could have it.
He's like, yeah, that's my ride or die. Handed him the walkie. Walked out with his little pink Supreme winter coat, even though it's March. We walking out, and this was a beautiful moment because we were leaving, and me and Chris, we had like our heads down. Nobody walked out with us. We felt defeated in terms of like just not fully being able to dismantle oppression and a system. We walk out and I see this high reflective ass yellow light, and I hear a voice that just say, Jhordan, and I'm like, who is that? And it was Method Man, and he gave us a whole ass like prep talk of just like, this is not an end for y'all, this is a new beginning.
Niggas always told me to keep my motherfucking head up. Niggas always told me, nigga, you better stand up. Niggas always told me, you from Rockawanda, and you never scared about, even if you cased up. Niggas.
He gave us a whole ass prep talk.
You walked out of the set, and Method Man's like, hey,
because he was there for the table read. He said, Jhordan, where's the table read? And I was like, I think it's upstairs somewhere. He's like, what's wrong, brother? And I was like, me and Chris are quitting. And Chris was his first team runner. So he was like, damn, Chris, you out? So we were talking, and Chris was like, yeah, it's just too much. I was like, yeah, it's a toxic environment. And what was kind of funny is Method was like, I kind of sensed that a lot. And I was just like, yeah. And not like to, like, I'm sure he doesn't mean like cast, but just like, again, the NCU is not run by niggas in charge.
Yep.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
The slave then got off the chain gang, and we don't chase no runaway slaves. That's what I saw it as. You laughing, and it's I'm not trying to do my Umar shit, but like I genuinely felt like that was the sense of it. Not even in a form of like a racism way, even though I felt like that lady definitely had racist undertones. Season 6 Power ended, and she was like, I'm so happy to be working around black folks. She said that at the rap party, and I was just like, those are the ones you gotta worry about. Truly. Those open-minded, open vocal, liberal motherfuckers. We
call them hipster racism.
Hipster racism.
It's a real thing.
Hipster racism.
You being like, oh my God, I voted for Obama twice.
Fair skin has been in favor for the past, couple of hundreds of years. But now the pendulum is swung back. Black is in fashion.
The motherfucker who's called the people a freak show in Coney Island. That motherfucker always talked about how liberal he was and all that shit. But it's like, he was the same person that, you know, a nigga PA fucked up. People like, yeah, he got his job because he was black. And I'm like, why do you think I'm the right nigga to be telling this to? Like, you know.
Some white people, it's not really about the comfort level. It's just about the fact that I said what I said.
You know, and that's what it was. And I think that was just a strong distaste on just the NCU in itself on that, and I just had enough. But
that's not even just the NCU that you run into people, these motherfuckers who are just like kind of disrespectful but playing in your face. I told you that instance of like, oh, it looks really dangerous over here from that still photographer. Yeah. Me, a camera PA who was Dominican, a black man with locks, standing in the corner having a laugh, a kiki. This white bitch stills photographer that I don't know, never joked with her, nothing, didn't know her from a hole in the wall on set. Maybe them other niggas did, but I did not know her. She was like, ooh, it looks really dangerous over here. And I was like, what? Like, and they started laughing, but out of like nervousness, and I just completely just got silent. You're not even getting a laugh out of me.
No.
What does that mean?
In a hip hop head, we have this. Boom, bam, every time.
What's dangerous? Us just sitting in a corner talking?
You know what's crazy?
The fuck?
You know what's crazy? That PA with the locks, I walked with him on Power. I walked with him.
Oh, he was AD, PA.
Oh, yeah. He was a PA at that time, and I was walking with him in a black unit PA, and that same key PA, who, again, very openly liberal, was like, is this the members only club?
The fuck? Like you?
No, it's just like, what the fuck are you thinking?
And like, listen, I've laughed at some pretty dark jokes. But
what's crazy is me and the PA with the locks, we did the uncomfortable laugh, which he probably the unit PA, black dude from East New York, love him to death. Shout out to Will. He was like, hey, niggas, that kind of sound racist.
Right? What? Somebody gotta check him.
Yo, he called it out. He's like, that kind of sound racist.
I'm happy out of 3 people of color in both these situations, somebody had to be like.
But I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I'm just happy to be with
because they say that shit with a jolly up to, looks pretty dangerous over here. Why is that a funny, happy thing to say? When has danger been funny? What the fuck are you talking about?
No. Honestly, it's a very old saying, but just stay black. Don't compromise. Stay yourself. Be good at staying yourself, and you'll make it far.
Don't try to change yourself or appease to an audience, because that's not what they do for us. Nobody's walking on set to be like, well, let me put my best face on because I'm surrounded by like other people like who are not like me, and no one else does that but black people. Black people are the only people who analyze the what they're projecting every time they walk into a room because of how we look. So like that's my main info. I ain't changing shit for nobody. It's gonna make me a lot of money one day. Let's take a little break, and then when we come back, we're gonna have the highly anticipated PA of the week. Welcome back to Martini's Up podcast. We've been here shooting the shit, talking about like general nigga problems, nigga triumphs, nigga mental health, nigga protect your nigga. The very special
can you
nigga episode. Exactly. nigga. This is the nigga trigger warning again for our third part of the episode, the end. We are gonna have the best segment of Martini's Up podcast, the most highly requested one, the one that everybody loves, PA of the week. Okay, so I'm so terrible at PAs of the week. This week's edition, since this is the nigga PA episode, we talking about blackness, we talking about black entities. You know, who do you got a nigga PA of the week?
Do I have a nigga PA of the week?
This might be tough, and then like just so you know the rules again, a nigga PA could be a literal PA, could be an assistant, it could be somebody who is like the go-getter, the runner, the person, you know, nigga PAs.
And this is we're praising them, right?
We're praising them. This is a nigga PA, like our PA of the week. You get a prize and everything. It's great stuff.
Pow, right in the kitchen.
Okay, for sure.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
Because I didn't have one for last episode, but this one I got one. My nigga PA of the week goes to the PA or assistant of the Queen, Nicki Minaj. I wanted to name him because I forgot what I watched. The VMA, her VMA Super Freaky, whatever, her whole big thing. She had her award speech. She won for like, I forget what she won, Vanguard or some bullshit. And she needed her speech. And she was like, I have my speech written on my phone, but they took my phone from me for the performance. And she hinted at it once, and then she was like, yeah, thank you this, thank you that. Like, I don't have my, like, I really have my phone. Like, my assistant has my phone. Like, but thank you to everybody, thank you. And then out of the corner of like the screen, you see like a very scurrying assistant with Nicki Minaj's phone. I'm like, what the fuck? How is it his fault that Nicki Minaj didn't have her phone on stage? Granted, he had the phone, but I feel like, would I have been a bad assistant to be like, I'm not about to run up on the VMA stage in the middle of this like awards acceptance speech to pass you your phone? Like, bitch, you knew you wasn't gonna have your phone. You knew you was performing, and then right after they was gonna probably give you your award. You knew you wasn't gonna have your phone on you. Why would that be my problem? So, anyways, shout out to that nigga because of his perseverance and how quick he was. I feel like I saw myself in that moment. I feel like I would have been mad that it was on me to bring her phone in the middle of this thing, but I would have got it done. So, shout out to Nicki Minaj assistant. That's my PA of the week.
Pow, right in the kitchen.
Monty, baby.
Oh my God.
Monty.
This is his time.
No
last name, just
first
Monty.
time being a key, I was told we need to hire a paperwork PA, and I was like, ooh, I don't know too many paper PAs available. And sure enough, the same AD that said Bodega Culture.
Oh wow, okay.
I was talking to her, and I was like, hey, do you know of anybody? She's like, no. I didn't see. If they have a laptop, we can get something working. I took that full. You should not have told a nigga like me that.
Whatever you need me to do, you know, like I even do Shakespeare shit, you know.
We'll do some Shakespeare.
To be or not to be, you know. That's a motherfucking question.
That's all
Like,
I'm gonna
great,
say.
I'ma get a nigga with a laptop.
I'm literally gonna get a nigga with a laptop. Cause niggas was in Paris. Like, I'ma get a nigga with a laptop. Like, you literally telling me something literal. And that's what I'ma do. And basically, I hit up one nigga PA, and I hit up another, and they were like, oh, this is my friend. And I was like, has he worked on set before? She's like, no. It's like, the nigga got a laptop? And she said, yeah. And I was like, done.
Dead hired.
I was crucified for that action from the micromanaging of a, AD. But I wouldn't change it for the world. That was quite the moment. And honestly, I felt like I was doing something big. I'll never forget that day. You like, I see you on your Tyler Perry studio shit. You got your black people working around here.
Shout out. You put a key PA that's black on the scene. We hiring our own.
And we kept in throughout the day. Alexis was just like, you know, we gotta check in on Monty. Make sure he's doing good. And I was like, he seems like it. You know, as soon as I said that, it was funny as fuck. He come to set and was like, what's the back end time for lunch? And we was like,
Monty, that's your job.
I was like, back end. He walked up, and it was funny because I don't know if you remember this. He walked up and was like, yeah, I need to talk to Jimmy Mac real quick.
Wait, but how did we break for lunch yet, or did we already break for lunch?
It was the second setup of the first scene.
Oh, so no back end. Haven't even broken for lunch.
I feel like somebody from upstairs just said, yeah, you got to get the back end time for lunch. And he walked downstairs and was like, nigga, what's the back end time for lunch? And Jimmy Mac was like, what the fuck? But Jimmy Mac said something that was like, kind of like a gem to the situation, because what I mean by that is like gem, like, you know, shining metals or whatever. He said, what the fuck? And I was like, no. I was like, Monty, we haven't broke for lunch yet. I'll give you the go on when that should be done. Jimmy Mac was like, you know, crazy enough, that motherfucker's new. We'll be working for him someday.
I would like to see it.
He was happy to be there, and he was literally like such a yes man. But then you go on that lunch and was like, yeah, these white motherfuckers got another thing coming. I'm like, yo.
We're going to have a national Coons conference at FDMG. Yes, brothers and sisters. We have to have a national Coons conference.
I live.
I was just like, Monty, whoa. I literally pulled this out. I was like, brother, like, I'm down with it. Trust me.
Just calm
I was like,
down.
you gotta calm down. I was like, there's levels to the conversations. You can't be doing that.
People be listening to people's lunch conversations.
I was like,
gotta be chill.
I was like, you can't do that when you don't got your foot in the door. Nigga, you got your head in the window. That's all it is. Like,
nigga
relax.
talking about overthrowing the white man from outside.
Whoa,
how you complain about the club? You can't even get in.
And you know, your head's through the window, like, from the second floor. You moments away from being fucking pushed. Like, you need to calm down. Unfortunately, I remember when I got into health and safety, I was like, I would love to put Monty on.
We gotta find him.
We gotta
find this guy.
Because
if you have any information on a black PA with a laptop by the name of Just Monty.
Why you so obsessed with me?
Anyway, I would nigga of the week.
Pow, right in the kitchen.
For me, Monty by far. I wanted to bring him back on health and safety, but his
We'll find him. I just put out the
same
APB.
number. You gotta put out the
Yeah, it's out there.
This is your milk carton, Monty.
That was the nigga PA segment. That was the nigga PA of the week on a very special episode of Martini's Up podcast.
Nigga PA of the week, by far.
Welcome back to the Martini's Up podcast, the special nigga PA edition. We here, we shooting the shit, we talking about all things nigga. But I want to move on to our last segment of the day, which is my favorite segment. I don't know about you hoes, but I love it. Can we talk about music for a second, please?
The brothers, they...
Alright, so this week in music, I usually have like a cute little thing prepared, and I'm like, oh my god, let's talk about like the shittiness. But essentially, you know the drill. We've been talking a lot. We've been getting our frustrations out. We getting closure on this episode, and I want to end it off on a great note by talking about somebody else's industry that's full of shit. That's right, we throwing rocks in the glass house. Let's talk about music.
But we showing our hands.
Yeah, you know. But let's talk about music. So this week, it's all about the rap girlies. Oh my god. I hate to be like a shitty blogger and be like, the rap girls are fighting.
Girls are stealing. The girls are fighting and stealing.
But really, like, these bitches are really going at it. And I guess I just want to know, like, what's the problem? So there's Nicki, there's Cardi.
I never found you funny. I never found you entertaining. I never found you smart. I just found you annoying.
Cardi versus Nicki. Shout out to Taylor who put this whole theory in my brain. But the Biggie and Tupac of our generation, truly. That was a real quote from the great Taylor Richardson. Like, the Biggie and Tupac are
Episode 1 King. If you haven't checked it out, check it out.
Please listen. If you're not listening and you on episode 4 right now, you ain't listening to episode 1, what the fuck are you doing? You think we just saying, nigga, we had a whole show, but this is a very special episode. But yeah, anyways, Nicki and Cardi B are the Biggie and Tupac of our generation. And just in a sense where, like, they both have such influence that's, like, crazy. The only difference is they're not both, like, it's not East Coast versus West Coast. They're both on the East Coast, sadly. But, like, their beef is so strong and never ending and affects other artists, the hundreds of other artists. There's people who they'll never work with because of each other. There's people who can, like, never talk to each other because of their relationship with one another. And it's just a mess. But, like, what's going on, guys? Like, I thought music was supposed to, like, y'all getting a lot of money. It's all glamorous. Like, I don't understand, like, what's there to beef about between two women who are so rich? I'm sure there's been shit that has been spread and talked, and Cardi seems like a bitch who's not really about that fake shit. Nicki Minaj has been in the industry for buku amounts of time, and she's put so much industry, like, she's put so much, like, culture, like, so much time into the culture. Like, she deserves her flowers, but I really don't understand, like, why she insists on, like, pulling a Kanye and just targeting her, like tarnishing her legacy to fight with these new rap girls who are not, it's not doing anything for you to be arguing on Twitter with Lotto, who's like 20 years younger than you.
Stupid fucking dinosaur!
It's a little ridiculous. So I'm not throwing shade. I'm a woman who believes other women can express their frustrations without being looked at as, like, being catty. But I want to know what's the problem. It's hard to ask a man that, but, like, why you think, like, no matter how much money is there, like, people still gotta get down to the pettiest level and still be fighting? You think it's publicity?
That's suspicious. That's weird.
I think what it is it could be publicity.
They both got records to sell.
How convenient is that? Wow. How convenient is fucking that?
You know?
But Nicki just has a bad track record of these exact same beats. I feel like she's a very, like, attention clogging artist, where it almost comes out as, people don't say this enough, but when a person is insecure, it does not always mean that they think lowly of themselves. Fucking the Pink Print was huge.
Yeah.
That was huge. I was in, middle school or some shit when it dropped, and I was like, man, these motherfuckers asking me to burn this shit, because I used to have burn CDs in my locker.
Oh my
I was like,
God.
they asked me to burn this shit, and people heard it. It's like, oh my God, it's amazing. I even was listening to that shit. I was like, yo, this is dope. But I feel like there was no real conditioning in terms of letting her know, like, you know, this is a good pedestal, but, like, there's a lot of room for other people to get up here, and, like, you need to be able to still be yourself and not focus on it.
Right.
Step your pussy up, honey.
Like that, and it's really disheartening to see that that's what's happening right now, because I feel like Nicki was a mentor and huge structure for Cardi's. Huge. She was the Chief Keef of all of this shit, basically.
That's true.
And it just
she couldn't handle. I just think that she didn't like the competition, and you know, there's probably shady shit happening behind the scenes. Bitches sucking and fucking to get up there. Bitches who getting Grammys and they don't even write rap and all of that shit. I get that there's frustration, but, like, she really not playing the game smart. And I guess I'm just trying to figure out.
And it's coming off very just, like, again, just highly sensitive and overly emotional, and it's like, you can't do that. Like, no, because
what Cardi
especially
said,
if you're
she got
seasoned.
condos in that bitch head. I do believe that. I believe that this is something that Nicki has just been stewing on for a long time.
Yeah.
And not only did Cardi B come in, she kicked the door down for all of these other artists, for the Megs, the Lottos, the Glorillas, the Ice Spices,
But she was.
everybody.
I feel like she was just more communal about it, and was like, why use it as competition when I can also get fed from their wave as well.
Exactly, and that's what it's about. Cardi is smarter in the sense where it's like, it don't have to be nothing as long as I could get a feature on that.
Yeah.
You Glorilla and you popping, you got 2 hot songs. As long as I could get a feature on your second hottest song, we good. To make another number 1 hit, I'm good. She just is moving smarter.
It's those public images, people, all of that shit, whatever you want to call it, influencer. All of them motherfuckers have publicists that literally condition them on how they should speak, how they should carry themselves, and I feel like she just did not have any of that in the earlier stages.
Yeah.
They should have gave her that from the jump.
Yeah, she should be at Beyonce's level. The only difference between them, but the difference between Beyonce and Nicki Minaj is their team. And I say this all the time.
All the time.
The team that Beyonce has might as well be the same motherfuckers that are in charge of the Obamas. Like, she has a presidential Secret Service staff. I truly believe that. And that includes everybody that step in that bitch signs a strict NDA. Everybody that steps around her is like I think core people who have been working with Beyonce for a long time, so they just don't cross her. Nicki Minaj needs to be working on building that. And honestly, to say something good about the queen, this new album feels, she's beefing right now, but you could tell, man, Nicki is entering Kanye status where it's like, if she coming out beefing, she promoting not super Kanye, that's for a different thing, and I won't give him the space on this platform, but she's kind of getting to that level where it's like, if Nicki Minaj is out here screaming on Twitter, she about to release something, she promoting something, she doing something. So I think that's where all these arguments are coming from, but I do feel this rollout is different. It feels more polished. It feels like she finally found the right business team around her and is going to start making strides in a smarter way. Anyways, before we end the show, I always like to end it on a good note. We gotta say something good about our industry, where we're at, what we're doing, maybe give some advice to the little niggas.
I think if I can leave on a good note, I would say, again, just stay true to yourself. Don't be afraid of that job. When I first got into this industry, I thought never in my life I would be able to read a call sheet. It was just, that shit looked like a soup sandwich. I didn't know what the fuck was on there. I was like, what do you mean? How do I see my schedule? Where's my name at? You look at the back of it, it's literally like hundreds of names. And you're like, what the fuck? But it's a structure of staying in your lane. Because all those other names don't matter. You look into your small little box out of 100 people, and that's you.
Yep.
That's what you need to do. So I want to say, take that into a workforce standard of just believing in yourself on that, and things really work out, and you are meant to be there if you're meant to be there.
Dead ass. I'm dead ass.
That's good advice. I think I don't have any advice except for to keep listening to the Martini's Up podcast, because we got the best fucking advice. Every fucking installment is something new.
My Cash App is open.
It was important to talk to another Nicki PA that I have respect for, and I just wanted us to have an episode, because we don't get many things, but we got an episode on the Martini's Up.
I'd like to commend those who came before me on this show and those who come after me. I think everybody who has been on here and who is going to be on here has been nothing but inspirational influences to myself. Keep on working and, just stay up.
Stay up, and that's it. As usual, look forward to the Martini's Up podcast. Every month or so, we'll be here giving you new knowledge, new stuff. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you so much for being here. And my cat has me his daily view into the, he's here. But thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.
Niggas.